Have you ever thought about trying Zen meditation, only to immediately stop yourself because you pictured having to, travel to some silent, secluded mountain temple and sit for hours in agonizing pain? Well, actually, scratch that assumption right now. Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into a highly practical guide straight from the Taizo and Zen Buddhist temple. We're going to look at exactly how you can practice authentic Zazen right in your own living room or even your office in literally just 10 minutes. 0 mountain temples required.
Here's our quick roadmap for today. 1. The core of Zazen. 2. Setting your foundation. 3. Perfecting your posture. 4. The art of breathing. And 5. Conducting your practice.
All right, part 1, the core of Zazen, mind, body, breath. Let's just dive right into the overarching philosophy that makes this whole thing work.
Okay, so this isn't just about closing your eyes and trying really hard to stop thinking. It's a deeply integrated system. There's this beautifully simple quote from the Taizo Zen Buddhist temple that hits the nail on the head. Adjust posture and breath to adjust the mind. It perfectly highlights how interconnected our physical and mental states actually are. Think about it. You can't just force your mind to be calm, right? But you can control your body and your breath. And by bringing those two things into alignment, your mind naturally follows along.
So what does this actually mean for you sitting at home right now? Well, in this context, Zazen is just a highly accessible 10-minute seated meditation practice. You don't need any fancy, elaborate gear. You literally just need a cushion or, hey, even a standard chair to create a moment of profound stillness and center yourself in what is, let's face it, a pretty chaotic world. It's incredibly approachable and for sure, absolutely unintimidating.
Moving right along to part 2, setting your foundation, your base. Now we get to start our physical walkthrough. Just like building a house, you can't build a solid meditation practice on a shaky foundation, right? We have to start at the floor. And if you've ever worried that you aren't flexible enough for Zen meditation, well, take a look at this. You are fully capable of doing this right now. The temple's guidance actually gives us 2 distinct options: the traditional folded cushion method, using a Zabuton, and a super accessible chair alternative. Here is the really cool part that proves you absolutely do not need intense flexibility to start Zazen. You just need stability. If you're going the cushion route, you place one flat on the floor, then fold a second one in half to boost your hips up a bit. From there, you can sit in a full lotus, a half lotus, or, if your knees are screaming at the thought of that, a simple cross-legged position is totally fine. Now, if the floor is just a no-go for you, grab a chair. The rules here are super simple. Plant your feet shoulder-width apart, sit deep into the seat so your hips are completely anchored, and, this is absolutely crucial, do not lean back on the backrest. You have to support your own body weight.
All right. Part 3, perfecting your posture, the alignment. We've got our base sorted, so let's move up the body.
Finding that perfectly straight spine can feel totally unnatural, especially since most of us spend all day hunched over a keyboard, right? But the source material gives us this surprisingly simple reset trick, and I actually invite you to try this with me right now. Ready? Clasp your hands together, stretch your arms completely straight up toward the ceiling as far as they will go, and then, without moving your spine at all, just drop your arms straight down to your sides. Boom! Right there, you've naturally found your optimal upright posture. Let's lock that in with a quick mental checklist. Imagine a straight plumb line running right down your body. Your ears should be hovering directly over your shoulders. Your nose directly over your navel. Keep that straight spine we just found, keep the chest open, and give your chin just a very slight tuck. Aligning yourself this way essentially opens up a physical channel. It's literally the physical posture of a calm, alert mind. Now, here's where people usually get tripped up. The eyes. We always assume meditation means squeezing our eyes shut, right? But in Zazen, you actually want to keep them slightly or half open. Why? Because closing them completely is basically an open invitation for sleepiness and wandering thoughts. Instead, you just softly drop your gaze to a spot about 2 to 3 meters on the floor ahead of you. And listen carefully to this, do not tilt your head down to look. The temple monks make a great point here. Looking down physically forces you to compromise that beautiful straight spine you just built. Just lower your gaze. Let the head stay tall. Okay, the final structural piece, the hands. Roll your shoulders back and just let them drop, totally relaxed. Now we form the mudra. Take your left thumb and wrap it lightly with your right hand. Next, bring your right fingers over your left hand, almost like a little protective cover. Finally, rest this interconnected shape gently just below your navel. Think of this as the final physical lock. It basically seals that steady, unshakable posture perfectly in place.
Moving into part 4. The art of breathing, inward focus. We've built the physical vessel. Now it's time to transition our focus inward to the breath.
Breathing in Zazen is super deliberate. You're focusing entirely on breathing in and out, exclusively through the nose. But all the emphasis, all the focus is on the exhale. So take a guess for a second. Just how slow do you think your exhale should be during this?
Ready for this? A single, continuous exhale through your nose should take a full 10 to 15 seconds. Yeah, seriously, it is a remarkably long, deliberate emptying out of the lungs. And the beauty of extending the exhale to this extreme length is that your body will naturally, effortlessly draw in a deep inhale right afterward. You don't even have to force it. The body just does the work for you.
Of course, while you're doing this incredibly slow breathing, your mind is absolutely going to try to wander off. It's going to start thinking about your grocery list, or unread emails, or what you're having for dinner. So, to prevent this, Zazen uses a mental anchor. As you breathe, you simply, slowly count your breaths. Inhale, exhale, that's 1. Inhale, exhale, 2. You count all the way up to 10. And once you reach 10, you simply go back to 1 and start over. It's a repetitive little counting task that works right alongside your breathing to gently put a leash on that wandering monkey mind.
And finally, part 5, conducting your practice, the 10-minute ritual. We've covered the setup, the posture, the hands, and the breath.
Let's put the whole shebang together into the actual routine you can run every day. If you're using an audio guide from the temple, it works as a simple auditory ritual. At the start, you'll hear the slow ringing of a bell 4 times. That's your cue to settle your posture and start your breathing. Then comes the middle, 10 dedicated minutes of just sitting, eyes half open, breathing slowly, counting 1 to 10. And then the finish. Those 10 minutes aren't ended by some jarring smartphone alarm, but by a single ring of a bell, followed by 2 sharp strikes of wooden clappers. And that's your signal to gently release the posture.
It's pretty simple, right? Just 10 minutes of structured stillness with nothing more than a chair and your own breath. But, the ultimate goal of Zazen isn't just to get really good at sitting on a cushion. The real challenge is what happens after that final bell rings. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to chew on. How are you going to take that profound calmness, that clarity you build in those 10 minutes, and carry it with you into the remaining 23 hours and 50 minutes of your busy modern day? Just something to think about as you give this a try for yourself.